Hey everyone, it's time for another episode of Monkey Shorts, and in this week's video we're going to look at adding slicers into an existing cube function setup. So let's hop over into Excel here, and you'll see that I have a pivot table, and I also have a nice little flattened version that is built out of cube formulas that I've already gone and cleaned up. So first thing I want to call out here is that this pivot table has a timeline associated with it, as does the formula set over here. So I can just go and select some of the different changes. We'll see that it refreshes nice and quick there. And what you'll notice is when we go and say, hey, pivot table analyze, and go to OLAP tools and flatten this out, the formulas that are actually created here show the timeline right in it, which is pretty awesome. How do we know what this timeline is actually called? Well, if you click on the timeline, it's called date. And if you click in the formula, it's timeline underscore and whatever that name is. And that's how you can associate these guys here. Now, the thing is, we can also add slicers in the same way inside our formula. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually do that. But for the longest time, I wasn't really sure how you would do this. So I would actually go back and recreate a pivot table. But here's the thing. I want to add a slicer, but I don't have one in my workbook. If I have a pivot table, it's easy. I just go and create a slicer on the pivot table. But what I'm going to do at this point in time is I'm actually going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to choose to insert a slicer. And I'm going to choose to insert it against the data model. We'll go and click on the workbook in the data model and say open, and it'll now open up our list of all of our fields. Now here's the tricky part though. When you're picking a slicer field here, it is very, very important to make sure you pick it from one of these guys that has this little orange bucket on it. If you don't, if you pick this one, that is an actual range, and that is not linked into the data model, and therefore it will not cross-filter things. So you don't want that one. You definitely want one with this orange bucket on it. And I'm going to go and grab something here for categories class. We'll go and say OK, and it creates a nice little slicer there. Now I want to add the slicer into my formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, I'm going to go hit comma, Alt-Enter to put on a new line, and I'm going to start typing slicer. And you'll notice that the name slicer class comes up right away. So I can hit tab, I can hit enter, and now I'm just going to drag this formula down here. And now we're going to go and click on food, see what happens. Hey, just burgers, there we go. If we go to beverages, we got beer and wine. If we go to other, there you go. And if I clear it, everything works nicely. So that's the trick, is you're going to insert against the data model, pick the appropriate table, and then just add that slicer right into your formula. Thank you for watching this episode of Monkey Shorts. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to click on the Skillwave logo on the bottom left in order to subscribe to our channel. Or, if you'd like to see more videos in the series, click on the playlist tile on the right. And if you'd like to get more comprehensive training, you should definitely check out our website at skillwave.training.